So I'm calling upon you men to do what is in your heart, to do what is right, to live a life of conviction, to start sharing this message I'm sharing with you and start delivering your own message of freedom and independence and liberty. And although there are risks to opening the country back up, there's risk to everything. There's no strategy, there's no tactic, there's no plan that can completely eliminate risk at all. It's always there and it's always present. We've got to be willing to ask ourselves, what risk are we willing to live with? And I'm not willing to live with the risk of allowing our government to get out of control and turn into this behemoth monster that we can no longer stop or control or dictate. Our politicians work for us, not the other way around. They are to do our bidding as the citizens of this country. It's not their bidding. It's not what's in their best interest. And I think we ought to take note of which politicians are thriving in times like this. What politicians' accounts are growing, who's consolidating more power, and ask ourselves, why is that the case? And I'm not willing to vote for any individual who is benefiting in some way from tragic and horrific situations for other people. And that's exactly what we're beginning to see. So, guys, here's what I'm asking. I want you to share this podcast, and I want you to share this message. This has been a message of reclaiming and restoring masculinity. This has been a message of sovereignty over the past 5 years. This has been a message of living by your convictions and making bold stands for what you believe in. And if you've got a business and you feel so inclined to open it and you feel like that's what's in your heart, then you ought to consider opening it. That we can do this in a respectful way, that you run for office as you feel necessary and appropriate, that you talk with your politicians and you take the right channels, that you peacefully assemble where appropriate to fight against the corruption and the overreach that we've begun to see from the government.